So you rode a bike from Santa Monica Pier to the White House.
To the grounds of the White House.
1600 Pennsylvania, right?
1600 Pennsylvania. Yes.
Okay.
Pennsylvania Avenue.
How many states did you ride that bike through? Do you know?
I'm going to tell you the states. Colorado, Arizona, New Mexico. I'm sorry, let's start over. California, Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, Kansas, Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Maryland, Washington, D.C. It's about 12 of them.
What time of year was it?
I left on April 1st, 2004. And people
Spring.
say, yeah. Listen, man, so you're a fool doing this on April Fools, right? I just laughed it off.
What was the most beautiful state that you saw on that bike? Because I'm sure you were in some nooks and crannies that most people don't travel.
Man, Colorado.
Really? So you had to ride that bike up and through the mountains and stuff too?
Yeah, but you know, again, I'm transparent. I couldn't ride through all of it because it was dangerous. Some of those roads are dangerous, man. So we put the bike back into the bus, man, to where it was less dangerous.
Right.
Then I would ride again. But man, Colorado's so beautiful.
What was the most dangerous state or encounter? Like, did you have? I'm sure there's some scary moments.
Well, there's a number of them.
A number of scary moments?
Yes. I started in California.
That was the first one?
Yeah. A little town called Mecca, California.
Wow.
MECCA. You know how I thought that to be pretty amazing. Mecca.
Right.
Yeah. And I was riding my bike, man, and it's in the country. And there's gravel on the road, and I went down. And when I went down, I heard, whoa, 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 a whole bunch of dogs, man. I looked back, must be about 20 dogs coming after me. Got back on my bike, man. Little scratches on my leg, got on my bike, had 10 speed, and they couldn't get to me, man, because I was rolling. Even though I was 52 years old, something like that, man, I was in great shape, man. So, and what I've learned, dogs will run to a certain point. I don't know if it's their territorial part of, and then they'll stop. Yeah, and that was in Arizona. California.
That was the first one.
That was the first one. The second one was in right on Interstate 10 in Arizona, and it was getting almost nighttime to where you could see the darkness starting to set in, right? And I'm on the side of the road. This 18-wheeler came by, and it shook me like this, man. And I'm crazy, but I'm not stupid. So, I rode to where my nephew was in the bus. I said, hey, man, let's ride on into Phoenix. I want to get to Washington, D.C. in one piece. And that was too close. It was way too close. And so we put the bike in, and then we drove the bus into Phoenix.
Number three.
Las Vegas, New Mexico. Never knew there was a Las Vegas, New Mexico. I saw the sign, and it said Las Vegas. I was waiting to see how many miles to Las Vegas. Well, it was Las Vegas, New Mexico. And I was trying to get early starts when the sun first came up. But man, it must have been like 32 degrees, man, 33 degrees.
Oh, really? It was cold?
It was cold. So I put my gloves on and I really got dressed for that first hour or two. And man, it was cold, man. and there was ice on the road. So I said, hey, let's go back inside. Let's get warm. So I waited till like around 10. I think we ate breakfast because we would eat breakfast normally because we packed so much food in there, And we ate in there. Turned the engine on so we could get some heat, of course. And then around 10, 11 o'clock, when it warmed up to like 50, we got there. And that was a trip to New Mexico.
That was number 3.
That was number and we got to Colorado, and I was talking to a lady from the TV station. She's gonna come out to interview me at my little cousin's house, and we was excited about that. But then it's a thunderstorm and a bad accident on Interstate 70. So because said, we were trying to make it another day. My editor said we gotta go cover these stories. Long story short, we didn't make that. And that was disappointing. But it was raining like crazy, man.
So you were scared?
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't no Superman, but yeah, but then from there we went to Kansas. Left there, went to Kansas. My goodness, the wind in Kansas.
Oh, because it's prairie land.
Yeah.
Huh?
Oh my goodness. And like I'm standing up, first time
On the bike.
on just a pedal. And I went like about maybe 10 miles standing up, and I'm sweating, man. Like more than that, I'm tired.
Right.
I'm so exhausted. So I say, man, let's drive some more, man, till things settle down. So when we got close to a town called Wichita, which was maybe 30 miles from Waverly, I think, but I can't remember. The wind settled down and all that, man. So I rode a bike into to Waverly, Kansas, which is when I spoke maybe 2 days later to the prison there. So it's Sunday, we're supposed to leave Monday, and the hotel we were staying at, the guy said, I don't think you need to leave tomorrow. So why is that? He said, because the tornadoes supposed to be headed this way. I said, okay. I said, if the tornado's coming, I don't want to be out there. So we didn't go. We didn't leave me and my nephew. So we left that Tuesday. And man, the route that we took, nothing but devastation, man.
Oh, so the tornado came?
It did come.
Wow.
Nothing but devastation, man. And I'm riding my bike, I'm just thanking God the entire way, man, just thank you for your grace and mercy. Like, man, they probably never heard of me. Now, when see me and my nephew again, the devastation, man, so that was still in Kansas, yeah. So my next step was Illinois. And I'm heading towards Chicago, so I got a good ride. It took me, I think, about 2 days to get to Illinois by bike. I'm in a small town. Forget the name of it, but I have it in my notes. And there's these 4 guys in a truck. Again, we're in those suburban areas in the country and all that. In this truck. And I couldn't hear the truck at first, but you know how you can feel someone's behind you?
Mm-hmm.
Even if it was maybe half a mile or whatever. So I looked back and saw this truck. I said, okay, this truck will pass by me in a few minutes. 10 minutes later, the truck is still by there. So I pull over to call myself taking a break. I'm just observing what's going on. It's these 4 guys who I perceive to be potential KKK guys. Because they hurled insults out the truck to me, verbal insults. So I'm probably right. So
where was your nephew with the bus?
Well, the way we set it up, because we started out, he would be behind me, and like every 2 hours he would come find me. So No, it was the other way around. I wouldn't have him go in front of me. He would drive. I said, no, you drive for 50 miles and wait for me. And that's how we did that.
Okay.
And I see that didn't work out well for me because something happened within 50 miles. How long was he gonna wait for me, right? So we switched it around. Where he stayed there, and I said, look, let me ride for 2 hours. This is my route. I'll be going south on Interstate 5 or Route 25, whatever it was, and this is the route that you take till you catch up to me. And that's how we did that. So I asked him, hey man, did you see that truck of guys? He said, no, I didn't see a truck. I said, okay. I said, I'm gonna go again and see it in a couple more hours. And went for a couple hours. I get him riding a bicycle, so it's not like I'm going 20, 30 miles an hour. So I see these guys again, where they see me again, right? And hey man, I just kept on pedaling.
Were they parked or where were they when you saw them again?
They were just driving. And from again, I'm in territory I've never been to before, so I don't know what to do. So I just keep on going, and I never saw them again. But that was a frightening moment.
Right.
It was a frightening moment. So yeah, that was Illinois. All right, and when we got close to Chicago, I'll go on the freeway. In certain parts of the country, the roads got different names. Freeway, bypass, highway. Depending on what area you live in, they call them whatever way they want to label them. And so when I got near like maybe 50 miles, 75 miles to Chicago, multiple lanes and all that, and it was either highway patrolman or state policeman, because again, they had different names. But they put me over. He said, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? I'm just, you can't ride a bike on the road here. Oh, I said, I didn't know that. He said, well, where are you coming from? I said, from Santa Monica. He said, there's no Santa Monica, Illinois. So I said, Santa Monica, California. Man, you're kidding me. I said, no. I said, my driver's is behind me. Yeah, he said, I saw a bus back there, something about my father's or something. I said, yeah, that's what I do. He said, man, you're freaking amazing, man. Then he got on my side, right? Man, you're amazing, man. So what are you about? I said, well, I'm bringing the awareness of fatherhood, the value of it, and how important fathers are. He said, man, let me shake your hand. He said, I'm going to go back and tell is it your brother? I said, that's my little nephew. I'm going to go back and tell him to come on up and get you, but you can't ride a bike, man. I don't have to scrape you off the highway. So, and that one of the pleasant things there. But it was scary because there's so many, like 6-lane highways, that kind of stuff, man.
Wow, like the 405. So you were riding the bike basically on the 405.
Well, no, it wasn't. The 405 is a different animal.
Well, I mean something that wide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if that 3 lanes, or you're right,
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, so we went on up there, and my next move was frightening experiment was in Gary, Indiana.
Oh, I'm familiar.
Yeah, Gary. Man, there's this rain, thunderstorm. Man, I'm talking about. I called it a monsoon.
Right.
For hours. And so we got in the bus and saw this guy stranded on the road. So I told my nephew, hey man, stop, man, we gotta help this guy. So we went over there and pouring, man, I said, hey man, what's up? He said, man, he had a few choice words to say, of course.
Okay.
Understandably so.
Right.
He said, man, my car won't start. I said, well, he said, can you give me a jump? I said, well, you got cables? He said, no. I said, well, I can't give you a jump then. I said, I don't have cables. I said, what do you want me to do? I said, how can I help you? Do you want me to drive you somewhere? He said, no. Can you, because I did have my cell phone, remember? The flip phone.
Right.
Yeah. I said, here, use my phone to call somebody. So you serious? I said, yeah, man. Because back then you had to pay for your...
Yeah, those minutes.
You had your minutes, man. But the bottom line, man, this guy was in distress, man. And so he called somebody, and he thanked me. I said, no. He said, do me wait. No, man, I'll wait in the car. That they're on the way. He said, well, thanks. I said, no, man. Hey, be safe, man. Because I want you whatever you got to do, man. Nothing is more important than your life right now. He said, man, I appreciate that. So me and my nephew went to this lady's house that we were staying at. My sister, who's so amazing, she had friends throughout the country she went to college with, And so, Gary, Indiana was the lady. And she said, how'd you get here? All this rain. I said, hey, on the way we were going to stop driving if you saw a big puddle or whatever, or the lanes were closed, and that was scary. Because it reminded me when I was overseas in China during monsoon season, that's how hard it rained.
Wow.
And so my next one was in Ohio. Now, the further east you go, the more you run into, we call them lightning storms back home.
Right.
Man, we got into Ohio. Man, it's a lightning storm. Again,
it's definitely time to get off the bike.
Get off the bike, man. And I found this I call it a shopping center, shopping mall, whatever you want to call it. I saw a movie theater in there. I said, man, let's go see a movie, man. So me and my nephew went to see the movie, and we didn't leave till the next morning.
Okay, so you had a little leisure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We took time. As a matter of fact, in Ohio, we stayed at we stayed in the bed, but we stayed there for a couple of days. And there was a YMCA.
Oh, yeah.
Went in there and played basketball and all that kind of stuff, and we took showers and stuff there until my nephew got kicked out.
Why?
He was, I was beating him in basketball, see, and a little bit of a temper. He was be cussing and all that. And the director said, hey, man, we don't cuss in here. And so I was just shooting around. He was somewhere else, and he came to me. He said, sir. I said, yes, sir. He said, we got to kick your nephew out. I said, well, I know he didn't hurt anybody, did he? He said, no. He said, his language, his language wasn't what we wanted to be. I said, hey, I understand. So he went back and waited for me in the bus. But the good thing, we took showers there, so in Ohio, we're going into Pennsylvania. And Pittsburgh, man. Pennsylvania got the worst roads that I've ever been to in my life, man.
In your home state?
My home state, and the, what is that called on the side of the road? Your
shoulder?
Shoulder. The shoulder was like 3 feet, man.
Wide as the bike.
Man, I got cars and trucks coming by me. I'll never forget, man, we was going over this bridge near the football stadium. I think it's called Heinz Field. Gotta go over this bridge, man. And it's a good sized bridge. And and go over this bridge, man. So
why not?
Well, down below, man, was at least 200-300 feet. You would hit the ground. I'm like, hey, man, people drive crazy.
Right. My
entire life I experienced that, man. And truck drivers, and I love truck drivers because they allow us to eat and sleep and all that stuff. But hey, man, especially back then, they got to get to their place so they can make their money, so they can make some more money. And so you're on that gas pedal, man. So
it shakes you up, huh?
Yeah. Then the other time was I was in Gettysburg,
Virginia.
No, Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. That's where the Civil War.
Okay.
Where the Civil War took place there. A lot of history there, and I saw a big sign that said, well, that wasn't big, but it was a sign there. Welcome to Black Gettysburg. I never heard of Black Gettysburg before. History books never told us anything about it.
Right.
And they had not a museum, but an office or whatever to where you'll get some information on it. So I was in there reading. I said, wow, I didn't know this. We was never taught this in history on how the black soldiers, the integral part they played in winning the war. You
really?
know? Yeah, man. And like it's just,
So they were fighting for the North.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. And so anyway, that was my, and that was the last one. That was the last scary situation that we had.
So, what did you see any like wild animals?
No, very, very few.
Really?
Yeah,
no snakes in the deserts of Arizona, New Mexico, none of that? No scorpions?
Remember, I was on my bike now, so
you'll see them up and close personal if they're in the street. No coyotes, no wolves?
No, you know, that was pretty amazing, man. No one ever asked me that question. That's a great question. No one asked me that question. But you know what stood out to me? And it just, man, almost bring me to tears just thinking about it, man. Along the roads, man, I'll see hundreds in each state. Well, not hundreds in each state, but over 100, a couple hundred crosses with flowers, with people's names on it that was killed on the highway, freeway bypass, whatever you want to call it, in car accidents or whatever. You know, man, I saw hundreds of them on my bicycle trip, man, and it like, man, like this one day it was like 7 crosses, the entire family was killed there, man, and like, man, it just broke my heart. I didn't know them, but I knew they were family or human beings, man. And some people just, their family members suffered from the loss of the entire family, man. But that stood out. But no, as far as animals, but when I got to York, Pennsylvania, I don't know what these things were called, man. Tens of thousands of them was making these noises.
Cicadas?
See, I don't know what a cicada is, but
it's probably a cicada.
Probably what it was.
Yeah. It just illuminated, everything came alive with noise.
Oh my God. I mean, like maybe for like 10 or 12 miles, man. Maybe hundreds of thousands of them, man. And I asked my brother about it. I said, man, what is this? I asked him later. I said, yeah, man, some things that you're talking. He said, they come every so often. They don't come every year, but they come every so often. I said, I never heard a sound like that in my entire life. No, I mean...
Startled you, huh?
Yeah, man, because you really wouldn't see them. I mean, you could see them, but because they weren't really, I mean, they didn't attack me or anything like that. But the volume and the level of the noise was astounding. Because it's not like maybe 100 or 200 of them. Hundreds of thousands of them. No exaggeration, man. And they would cover a vast area of land. So that was...
I'm from the South, so I know all about that.
You know about that? Yeah.
So how many tires did you run through?
2.
That's it?
Yeah. The bike is amazing. And see, the goal is, the bike that I use, I'm going to speak to the contact the makers of this bicycle. I say, look, in 2024, we're going to recreate this bicycle ride again.
That's what you want to do?
Yeah. Oh, no, most definitely. It won't be as long. I won't ride only 20, 30 miles a day. Then we'll go to the next destination. So we're going to have speaking assignments set up with radio stations, TV stations, father organizations, churches, prisons. We're going to set that up to where I'm not going I'll be 72 at the time.
Right.
You know, so if the good Lord's willing, you know, I can ride 20, 30 miles a day. But it's what I want to do and just get the word of fatherhood out. I forgot your question.
How many tires did you run?
Oh yeah, back to the tires. My nephew I love dearly, who I supported over the years, I still support to this day. He was going through a rough time of trying to find himself. You know, a young African American man in Arizona. Arizona can be a tough state, and I'll leave it at that. It can be a tough state, and so he got in a little bit of trouble. I say, man, come drive the bus me. You'll be with me, man, for 50, 60, 70 days, whatever number of days it takes. I said, and we can talk, man. I can see what makes you tick. You can see what makes me tick. You know, and we struggled. We struggled almost the entire trip.
Really?
Yeah, because he wasn't He
And
won
how
that
long was the trip?
76 days.
So
He didn't make the
2
entire
months.
76 days.
So 2.5 months.
Yeah.
He didn't make it. You said
No, he didn't make the entire trip, and which is a segue to my tire. He was struggling with things in his life, and I'm angry at myself that I didn't understand where he was mentally, because I was going through this physical challenge of riding a bike. I was going through the mental challenge of leaving my family, and going through the mental challenge of trying to work with him. So I had a trifecta on me. But I was determined, man. My goal is to help this young man. He's I use the term troubled soul. He was a troubled soul, and he needed help, and I wanted to help him, but because of where he was, his mind was at this time, he couldn't receive the help that I was giving him or attempting to give to him, and that's my biggest disappointment about this trip. I couldn't reach him. I didn't find different avenues or different pathways to reach him, to help him, because he's a great kid, man. Well, he's a grown man, I was in his 30s, but a great kid, man. He just needed direction, he just needed guidance, because he didn't have a father. My sister adopted him, I was like the uncle / father to him, and he said at that tough age, 18, 19, to where when you think you know everything and can't nobody tell you anything.
right. Some people are still there in their 30s.
Yeah, and I couldn't get through that wall. So anyway, so we was in the outskirts of Gettysburg, and he wanted to talk about something. He wanted to know something, and I wasn't at liberty to provide him that information. And what it is, I don't remember what it was. But he got angry, man, and started talking to me in a very disrespectful way. I said, hey, man, you can't talk to me this way, man. Hey, well, what you gonna do? I said, I ain't gonna do nothing, man. Cause now, hey, I'm like 3/4 and not 4/5 of the way, complete my journey cross country. So his body's worn. His 53-year-old body, is worn, man. And so I say, man, if you don't tell me, if you ain't gonna answer, you gotta talk to her. I said, man, you know what? I need to take a nap, man. He said, I'm gonna slice your tire. So Puerto Rico's on to slice my tire.
Really?
Yeah. I said, all right. I said, hey, man, you're my blood, man. You're my nephew, man. Like, you did your uncle like this? I said, man, I don't hate you for it, man, because you're troubled, son. You're in a lot of pain, man, and I can't reach the level of pain that you're at. I said, but I want you to know when we get to Philadelphia, man, I'm dropping you off. You're not gonna make it to DC with me, man. That knife that you took on my tire was a knife in part of my heart, man. Because that's what you mean to me, man. Said, but I don't hate you, man. You're still my nephew. I don't hate you, man. But I gotta get over this. I gotta get over this, man. So I found, again, man, to show how God's always in the mix of things, man. So I saw this it's small something, man. There's a bike repair shop, man.
Oh, wow.
But that's how God works, man. That's how divine intervention works. My perspective, He said, what happened to your tires? I think I ran over a piece of metal or something. He said, yeah, it's sliced, man. It was a clean slice. I said, well, I bought the tire and the inner tube. He said, well, what are you doing riding a bike around here? Because he saw the bus and all that. Because it was every place I went, man, the bus was a conversational piece, man. And I was more than willing to discuss with everybody. I remember this guy in Ohio, this older guy. Hey, boy, you have to understand the regions that you're in. Hey, boy, what you doing? He said, father forever, one father's journey. So he said, I ain't got much money, but here's $25. Put some gas in your bus. Thank you, sir. So when I write my book, I would mention it. I would mention you in my book.
Wow.
So anyway, we got to Pennsylvania, and Pennsylvania, we got on the radio show for an hour. Then I was on the way to D.C., and Ronald Reagan died.
Really?
So they shut down Washington, D.C.
Oh, wow.
They shut it down. The good thing about it, I was able to go to my parents' home in Pennsylvania and spend some. My mother was deceased at this time, so I went to visit, my dad, and we, we did with father, son. My brothers were back there, and we it was just a great time. And they all thought I was crazy too for riding a bike across country. I said, man, when God put something in your heart, man, I don't care what it is, you got to do it. It reminds me, I tell people about the story of Isaiah. And the Lord, and God needed to send somebody somewhere. I forget how the whole story goes, but Isaiah says, here am I, Lord, send me. I don't put myself in the same context of Isaiah, but for this fatherhood thing, like, hey, I'll do this. And and my wife and family were so amazing from my perspective to put up with me leaving home for 76 days. And what I put them through. And when God tells you to do something, man, you gotta do something. So if God tells you, it gotta be the right thing to do. You may not get whatever you're getting right away or whatever, but anyway, again, that's the way I looked at it, the way I did it, and nothing happened to anybody back home or anything like that. So after Ronald Reagan died, then I went to, I drove the bus down there from Philadelphia to D.C., about maybe 2-hour drive, 2.5 at the most. My godson was living down there at the time, and I can't think of the name of the town. Many times I've been there. So anyway, I spent the night with him, and he got with me. Well, he got the direction, the route. He was going to drive it. Upper Marlboro, Maryland. And, he got direction, this, that, and the other. And so I leave his house and going down towards the White House. From a distance.
On the bike?
On the bike. I'm on my bike. So from Upper Marlboro, Maryland to the White House, I was on my bike. And such an exhilarating, amazing feeling. Because in D.C., man, a lot of traffic in D.C. too. A lot of traffic in D.C., especially when you get closer to the to the area of the White House, Capitol, all those tourist spots, spots. Yeah, oh man, hundreds of buses, and so I got video of it, man. I want to get it transferred over to a digital format if that's possible. Like, man, when you see this stuff, it's gonna blow you away, man. And so at the time they were doing construction at the White House, so you had fences. You had fences maybe 200 or 300 yards from the White House. So I was riding up there, man, Pennsylvania Avenue, man, it's like that was my Super Bowl.
Finally made it.
That was my NBA Final Championship game. That was my Grand Slam walk-off World Series home run. When I went up to Pennsylvania Avenue, and I walked out as close as I could to the fence, man, with my bike, man. And the first thing I did, man, I knelt down, man, and prayed to God, just thanking Him, for His grace and mercy, and traveling this distance. Good health. I've never told you this. When I was 49 and 51, I had 2 knee surgeries.
Oh, wow. So this is after that?
This was after that. It's going to sound crazy. after my bicycle ride, my knees felt like they were 25 and 30 years old. I mean, during the bicycle ride. Then even afterwards, my knees felt great, man. I had no problems after that.
Wow.
Yeah, and what I did, I had to go to a mailbox because what I did, I didn't tell you this part. What I did was at every school, elementary school, middle school that I spoke at, I would have kids, what a father means to me. And I told them, I want you guys to write it because I'm going to take it to the White House. Hopefully I can give it to the president.
Wow.
So when I was in Chicago, my wife got a letter from the White House. She called me. So open up with this case. So told me President Bush couldn't meet me. And so I got all the letters. I kept some of them. And during some of my stuff, I'm going to read some of them to you, to the people who care. Because who doesn't care about kids, love kids? And so I went to the mailbox, and President George Bush, President of the United States, 600 Pennsylvania Avenue, Washington, D.C. And I mailed it, and I never heard from him, even at least 250, 300 letters.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because when I spoke to the kids at these schools, man, they were just so excited, man. And that's another story there, man. That's another story about this.
What did you eat on this trip?
Well, I'm a peanut butter and jelly guy. I'm a country boy, man. I love peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, man. So I must have packed at least 50 of them, man.
So you made it from...
Well, wait, no, let me finish. And then my nephew, he like bologna sandwiches and all that. So he must have about 50 of them. Yeah. And then we had, some chips, plenty of water, Gatorade. And then there was some people who were kind enough, I think I made like six $50 gift cards for, Subway, a pizza place, forget the name, into about five or six different eateries.
Got it.
And so we did that. Then when the place that we stopped, there was people so kind. Come on, we're gonna fix you some dinner. I mean, good meals, man. And so I say, we gotta give you less pot. No. So people so friendly, so kind along the way, man. So.
Did you get a cheesesteak in Philly? I know you had to.
Yeah, I think maybe one or two, man.
Maybe two.
Yeah, I didn't get that.
Maybe 2 or 3.
I'm so focused, man. I'm so focused, yeah, man.
You have to put some of those pictures on Instagram. Should post some of that stuff, like the pictures from the trip. Should post them on Instagram as well.
And let them know about my bicycle trip. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Share this with the world.
Yeah.
I mean, of course.
Well, we're working towards that, man. We're getting there, man. And man, I'm just grateful, man, that I have a platform to finally tell my story, man. Because hopefully, people will say, man, I want to hear this guy's story, because it's a lengthy story. It's a lengthy story, and ups and downs. I met some great people. I met some not so great people. Some motorcycle guys I ran across once, man. I want to say in Ohio or Pennsylvania, man. And they weren't nice people.
What'd they do?
Oh, man, call me every name in the book. For no reason. Was doing my part of town.
Wow.
Why are you here?
In 2004.
2004, man. And I would venture to say, in 2024, they still, their kids or grandkids, maybe they're saying the same thing. I don't know. I'm hoping that people become better people, but.
When you made it back home, what was that like for you? Were you glad to be back home? Did it take some time to adjust from being on a bicycle?
Well, let me say, I came back home twice. Yeah. Now, kept the bus there. When my daughter went to her senior prom, I came home for the weekend for her senior prom.
Oh, during the trip.
During the trip, yeah.
Got it.
When my daughter graduated from high school, I came back for the graduation. Now, on the graduation, I was in Philly at the time. I brought my son. I remember asking my son, little guy, maybe 2004, that means he was like 9 years old. Born in 95, yeah, 9 years old. 8 or 9 years old, something like that. I said, hey man, you wanna ride back with me? He said, yeah, Pops. So when I came back, I flew him back to Pennsylvania with me. And he came down, came down the road down. And I think he stayed with my dad and my family members in Philly when I went to DC. And just so happened, by the time everything was over, Father's Day, I spent Father's Day in Philly with my dad.
Oh, that's cool.
With my dad and my son, which was a very special moment. And we drove back together.
And that was it for the last time when you drove back together.
Oh yeah.
So what was that feeling like?
It was great, man, because I never forget, man. We was in Missouri, because we would sleep at truck stops. That's where we would sleep over at. We had blankets, pillows, all that kind of stuff. Something my son never experienced before. I never forget him saying in Missouri, we was driving, and I said, man, you good? Because this is new to him, man. He ain't seen nothing cross country and all that as a 9-year-old. He said, and back then he used to call me Daddy. He said, Daddy, thank you for taking me on this trip. Thank you for taking me on this trip. We stopped in Kansas where you might have to help me remember this. Where it was a lawsuit, a famous lawsuit, Brown versus Education.
Right.
And there's a what do you want to call that? A plaque or something. We're sitting there, and he's reading it, and he thanked me again. Wow, Dad, man. So that was special. And it was in New Mexico, man. I don't know what happened. It rained and hailed for 5 minutes.
Wow.
That's
a long time.
That's a long time. And I just kept on driving. After 5 minutes, the blue sky.
Right.
We went from the blue sky to hail and rain to blue sky. Again, just an experience, man. So, and by the time I got home, my wife was glad to see me. She wasn't the happiest camper, understandably so. But everything worked out well. And
you're still married.
Yeah. Hey,
so
that's why I say amazing woman she is, man. Put up with me.
In 2024, what's your vision for this bike trip? How many people are you planning on bringing with you?
Well, that's a good question. Because see, we're only going to be, instead of a 76-day trip, it's only going to be 30 days. It's only going to be 30 days. And I'm going to drive 20, 30 miles a day. Because at 74, I don't know what my body's going to be like. But I'm just being positive, saying I know I can drive 20, 30 miles. At my pace, I ain't got to go fast. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Not a sprint. So I'm going to get to a certain place. I'm going to let you be, hey, I'm going to drive 20, 30 miles in this area. Feel free to join us.
So you're not going to, who are you going to bring from Los Angeles with you?
We don't know yet. Because I don't know who's available. I'd love for my wife to come along. I don't know if she'll want to do that because it's a different ride.
It sounds like a ride for Navy SEALs.
Well, there will be some people, we don't know yet, because we don't know what's going to be going on in 2024.
No, I'm just asking your vision.
Yeah, my vision is to
Your dream
is to have someone drive the bus, of course. Actually, someone is going to sponsor a bus for us. It's going to be similar. I'm going to find out where the other one is, see if it's still running or not.
A bus or a motorhome?
No, because we're going to get hotels to sponsor us in their hotel. They're going to get all this promotion and all that because we're going to market, everyone who's donating to us, who's sponsoring us, because I want a film crew. I want to take a film, maybe 1 or 2 people, filming this entire trip.
Where was the weirdest place you had to use the bathroom?
I don't remember the name of the town because it was in the country, but it was in California, close to the Arizona border. I had to use the bathroom. And this guy and this lady, his wife, an older couple, nice people. And they say, look, we got to use the bathroom. Survey the bathroom first. Because the rattlesnakes like to get behind the toilets. He said, because this is their home. This is where they live. And normally it's cooler in there than they just go there. So anyway, and I did that. So I got it in my notes, the name of the town. It's a country, real country.
So you never went in the woods?
No. But I went in there. I saw a snake in there.
In the bathroom?
In the bathroom, man.
What kind?
I don't know. It wasn't a small one. But I remember he said, when you go in, take a stick in there with you. If you can't see behind it, jab behind it. And you'll feel if you jab something or not.
Did you jab it?
Yeah, I did.
What happened?
It had to be a rattle because I heard a noise.
Wait, was it distant because you were running?
Oh, no. It's like, when you walk in, they're not big bathrooms out there.
Right.
But
when you jabbed it and you saw it was a snake, did you run out?
Absolutely. I wasn't going to have a conversation with him. What a way to start the trip. A snake bite. But
what about getting some fathers and kids on the trip? Try to plan it for the summer.
Something needs to be discussed because now you're talking about liability now.
Well, no, we can do like certain age children and their parents are with them. Like a father-kid trip. Kid could be an adult.
Because, hey, man, I never told you this before. I had hoped that one day, I'm not even going to rule out 2024 because I had a discussion with my buddy in Ohio. A Million Father March in Washington, D.C. in 2024. And as we ride there on a bicycle there, we would have all the fathers, as many fathers who would want to come. And I just said million Father March. It could be whatever title we come up with. But fathers, let's convene on Washington, D.C. And because we need a more father-friendly society. We need more policies for fathers, because fathers they get raw deals a lot of times. The good ones, because the minority of fathers that are jerks and knuckleheads that just don't get it. Everyone's cast into that large percentage of fathers. I'm like, no, that's fine. Most of the fathers are very good fathers who love their children.
Well, hopefully some of the viewers will participate in either the bike ride or the Million Father March.
We will love that. Matter of fact, my same buddy from Ohio, he said, William, maybe we can do a GoFundMe, raise $100,000 so everything it can be, so you can pay what you got to pay for to have that in Washington, D.C., because you got to get permits, and then we have to get speakers and all that kind of stuff, man. Well, this one guy, when I wrote my script back in 1990 something, I forget what year, he said, man, you know what your problem is? I said, Well, I got plenty of them. Which one are you talking about? He said, you dream big. I said, you call that a problem? I had nothing else to say. You call that a problem? You know, so the Father Marshal in 2024, why not? I remember Arthur Ashe. Arthur Ashe. I don't know if you remember Arthur Ashe or not.
Absolutely.
Great, great tennis. I admired him because he was at UCLA when there wasn't a whole lot of blacks on UCLA. And definitely not many blacks playing tennis. And so I remember he said that wherever he went, wherever he traveled to, he would always look out for an African American, male or female, just to say hello to, because he didn't get too much of that. And he wanted to acknowledge them, like, hey, you know, how you doing? And that meant a lot to me. Because Arthur understood the challenges he was going through, and it was everyone who looked like him was going through a similar challenge. He just wouldn't see many, and so, you know, and I took that when he wrote his book. I don't know if you know how he got AIDS, but it was through blood transfusion.
Right.
Because people, you know, thought he
was gay.
Yeah, thought he was gay, but he wasn't, and there's nothing wrong with being gay. You know, but he got it through blood transfusion. So it's very sad. I never forget one of his best friends said, man, Arthur, why you, man? You're a social activist, man. You've been in jail, you know, for protesting in South Africa. You know, you got a beautiful wife and beautiful daughter, and you do all the good things. By the way, he was from Virginia.
What part?
I want to say Portsmouth, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure because he couldn't play in certain parts of the town of Virginia because of his race. You know? And that's a true story. You know, his book Days of Grace is amazing for me, inspirational, motivational book for me. And so, what he told his buddy is, hey man, why not me? Look at the life that I live, man. I travel all over the world because I can hit a tennis ball.
He's done it all.
You know, and now, again, man, I go, you know, I live by this because you asked me a question earlier. Why do you want to do this? Hey, man, I've done great things to travel the world, but I did what I've done and satisfied with it. So there are those who never left their own city or town who would like to but never been for whatever reasons. And my thing is, what have you done for the least of these, my brethren? You doeth unto me. So, you know, I want to please God. If I can help someone, if I can help a father to help a child who may find the cure for cancer because he had a mom and dad keep him or her on the right track, man. You never know who you impact. True story. Just yesterday, I got 2 texts yesterday. One was from a friend of mine from Atlanta. She's a professor here at Dominguez Hills. And in her dissertation of her PhD, when she got her PhD, she thanked me, man, in her dissertation, and it's in writing, about being her biggest cheerleader, that I kept my words of comfort and pushing her to it made an impact on her.
Wow.
You know, and this young man that's on the board, he's like a little cousin to me, just got his PhD back in August of 2022. And he sent me his dissertation as well. And he acknowledged me on dissertation saying, you know, my big cousin and like second type father, you know, inspiration or effect that he had on my life to one of the best things he ever did for me was ask me to be on the board of a Father Forever. So I would cherish that. You know, now that I'm a father, So
Wow.
and my reason in bringing that up is, hey man, I can influence people to be better fathers. That's my purpose, man. That's my life mission, and I'm glad of that. I'm proud of that. I'm very humbled by that.
So what's your message to the people?
Love one another. Man, become a father forever. Be the best father that you can be. I mean the best. Everything is secondary. We put God first, put family second, and you have to work. If you're not retired, your job, then a father forever comes in there, because there's nothing like being a father to when your children have great things and nice things and kind things to say to you. And I'll share this with you. I don't know if I ever told you this. When I got married, my best man was my father.
Wow, I didn't know that.
And when I called him up and asked him, he said, man, you sure? I said, nobody comes closer. I said, man, you're my hero, man. You're my boy, man. Hey, man, it's because of you there's a father forever, man. Hey, man, like, my dad was my best man. My nephew who rode the bus, he was the ring bearer. And my sister, his mother, was the soloist at my wedding, man.
Wow.
Yeah, man, so very, very special moment for me, man. And I'm grateful. And why am I saying this? Get your father forever moments in your lives, guys. You have tons of them. They used to call them Kodak moments that you and your kids will remember for a lifetime. And then when dad, when pops, when grandpops makes your transition, the moments, those special moments, those memories, stays right here. Then you will make them for your children, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren. Man, it's special, man. It's beyond special. So.
Well, that's the message.
That's the message.
Till the next time, people, we'll be talking soon.
Peace and love, everybody. Thank you.